Hello, everyone. Heather Prasansky here. I am here for day 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe 5. I don't know what day we're on, but that's okay. Of the Loving Sales Challenge. And today we're going to be looking at, this is going to be a bit of a shorter call today, but we're going to be looking at, if you are not closing as many sales as you would like, how are you working in your call to action inside of your sales calls? And so here's a really funny thing about when I work with people and when I start listening to their sales calls and when I start really diving into their sales call structure is that many people never even ask for the sale. Isn't that funny? They go through everything and then they don't even ask the person whether or not they want to do it. They just say, okay, so, here's my product. And then they just sort of like wait for the other person to say something. And the other person says, okay, cool, I'll let you know. Right? Because we never actually took that leadership and we never actually said to them, what do you feel is the next best step for you? Or what is it that, does this offer feel like a good fit for you? So here are some calls to actions that you can include after you make your offer. So you just ran through, you solved their problems, you used the 7 high converting sales questions to ask them and really deep dive and really feel into what it is that they think they need, what it is that that they need. You've matched those two things up when you created your offer. You use the Loving Sales process that I'm going to give you on day 7. You really and truly just made sure that you had all of your ducks in a row. You told them about your amazing offer. You know that it's going to change their life. And then you just hear crickets. But maybe you just hear crickets because you're not taking that leadership and you didn't make that call to action. It's funny because we always use call to actions on our marketing, right? But many people, they miss this crucial step on their sales call. They just kind of run through their offer, they sit back, and they wait for the client to say yes, no, or make an objection. Okay? So here are some good call to actions that you can use that are still really loving. So you can use just a question. So you can say, does this look like a good fit for you? Okay. And I also like to use their name in there as well, because what that does is it just helps to like wake their brain back up. So you know how sometimes when somebody else has been talking for a while, you get into a little bit of a daze, right? I like to use their name in there. So I might say, Jane, does this feel like a good fit for you? Okay. It just brings their attention back. Another way that you can close is by using an assumptive close. So you can say, I have Monday at 10 a.m. or 1 p.m. available for your first appointment. Which of these is good for you? Okay, that one's a little bit harder for some people. They feel a little bit uncomfortable with the assumptive close. It depends on the relationship that you've developed ahead of time. You could also say, when would you like to get started? And again, I'd add their name in there. So Jane, when would you like to get started with this? Or shall we move forward with this? Right? I always like to say as well, what do you feel is the next best step for you? Okay. Or when do you feel would be a good time for you to, or do you feel that this is a good fit for you? Right. And then to say, when do you feel is a good time for you to start this program? So you're leading them through questions, which can feel a little bit less aggressive and a little bit more loving. Right? But remember, people like to be led. So it is not aggressive to actually lead them, right? As long as you're doing it right, as long as you're doing it from service and helping them feel more comfortable in making a decision. So as long as we're not saying, oh, well, I understand that you might say you don't have the money, but most of my clients just take out a loan. So you should probably do that. Like, that's kind of gross, right? Like, we don't know anything about their values around debt or anything like that. We don't want them to actually like sell their grandmother's wedding ring in order to work with you. Like, crazy things like that people actually do and actually use to pressure people into sales. That's not loving. That's not a good fit. And that is going to cause a mismatch in your relationship with your clients. So they're not going to feel comfortable in working with you all the way through the process because they're going to feel like you pressured into taking it in the first place. So they're never actually going to see as great of results as they otherwise would have if you led them really lovingly through this process. So make sure that you have a call to action in your sales process. And here's my call to action to you. Get your butt over to the link above if you haven't already and fill out your client creation scorecard. Okay, this is super important because what you measure, you will make progress on. okay? It's not enough to just say, yeah, I know that I need to do this, because we really just get off on this making of progress. And the money in your bank account is the last place that these things show up. You really need to focus in on some of these other levers that are going to happen before the money shows up in your bank account. Okay, so you need to focus in on some of these levers and know, okay, this is firing, this is firing. Uh-oh, this is broken. The money's never going to get here, because all these pieces in the chain need to be in order before the money's going to hit the bank account. So if you're just waiting for the money to hit your bank account and you fix pillar 1, maybe you fix pillar 2, and you're going like, why isn't this working for me? This is a diagnostic tool to show you why it isn't working for you. Right? Oftentimes we try something and we're like, oh, this doesn't work. We throw it out, right? How many of us have done it? We've all done it. We throw it out and we start out with something else new. But really, if we had taken the time to properly diagnose, that thing was maybe that one thing that was just going to do it for you. But because you did not take the time to diagnose the pieces, all of the different pieces in the chain before it gets the money, and you're just looking at the money in the bank account, right? This will never happen if something over here is broken. So the client creation scorecard is a diagnostic tool to help you make sure that there's nothing broken in here, so that ultimately you can focus in on the money going in over here. Cool. All right, so get your butt over there. The link is above the video here, and I will see you tomorrow, where we're going to talk about how to get people to see the value in your offer. All right, I will see you tomorrow. Bye for now.